Right, here's a simple tip to help you with your setup when you are chipping and pitching. This is zone 1 of the scoring arena at Somabay. As you can see, the background is absolutely stunning. All I want you to focus on, my little tip, is making sure that your buttons of your shirt are ahead of the golf ball. So when you are setting up to the chip shot or the pitch shot, just make sure that the sternum is just ever so slightly in front of the golf ball. If we start to see a lot of side bend and we get the buttons behind the golf ball, it's really going to affect your ability to contact it consistently, nicely, lots of fats and thins. Just making sure that pressure and the sternum are slightly left, which then stays there during the stroke. It is then easier to make crisp contact. Right, the next time you are chipping, give yourself a target. And what I mean by that, start to work out where your landing spot is. So this is zone 2 at the scoring arena in Somabay. I've got to go over this little bit of a waste area. I'm going to go to that flag here. Now I would use a towel to put on the ground, but it's quite windy here next to the Red Sea. So I'm going to use my putter cover. And I'm going to visualize, I think that's a good landing spot because it gets over, obviously, this waste area. It's going to then have an opportunity to check and stop fairly close. Now, this helps me with 2 factors. Whether or not my assessment of the shot is correct, because if I hit the spot and I still don't get near the flag, then my assessment is incorrect. Or my distance control, my chip needs work, because if I'm not hitting the spot, I'm not going to therefore get it nice and close to my target. So let's try and hit the putter cover. That wasn't bad. Right, here's one tip for these, dare I say it, fairly tricky chip shots. I've got to go over a bit of a ridge. There's definitely a little bit of a dip down, and then I'm going to go to that first flag. The tip is to make sure that you've just taken a bit of time before having the shot to really step and work out where you're trying to land it. Like, I'm going to visualize that I'm probably just going to hit it just into this upslope so it kills the speed and rolls on. But if I'm only standing at the ball, I'm not going to see all this or appreciate how far that I need to carry the shot. So zone 3 of the scoring arena in Somabay is quite a tricky little sort of long chip / pitch. But the tip is just make sure that you've actually walked the shot. So now hopefully I've got some idea of how far I want to carry the shot to get it close to that flag. Here's one tip to play this shot a little bit more effectively. So I'm at zone 4 at the Somabay scoring arena. It is a delicate chip with a ridge in the way. I need to get this ball up. I need to get this ball to stop quickly. The one tip, yes, we want as much loft as possible. We could even open up the club face and play like a lob shot. But when you are faced with this sort of shot where you need more height than distance and you've got a lot of loft, you need a lot of speed. Just make sure you commit to the shot. Turn the chest through the shot with momentum and speed and acceleration. Then you would get height and therefore you won't get the ball going short. Or if you actually do slow down your body, you'll end up sort of misstriking and going over the back. So speed is key, but that is speed of club and body rotation. Here's one tip for a downhill slope. I'm at zone 5 at the Somabay scoring arena. I'm on a bit of a downslope. The one key is making sure that your shoulders are therefore matching the slope. So as you swing through, we can keep the sort of the low point in the arc of the swing, chasing the ground as we go through. If we keep the shoulders on a tilt like we would be standing upright, we're definitely going to hit the ground first or have poor contact with the top of the golf ball. So just try to match the shoulders with the slope. Feel like obviously on the downhill slope, pressure is going to be more on my lead side. And then as I go through the shot, try not to lift the club head up, try and chase the slope on the way through. Here's one tip for a downhill chip. I'm at zone 6 at the Somabay scoring arena. All I want you to make sure that you've got in your mind is a landing spot. So because it's going to roll on, I don't need to carry this too far onto the green. I'm going to keep it nice and simple and just visualize that I've got a landing spot just on the edge and let it roll down. I've got a gap wedge in my hand just for a little bit of loft over this sort of fringe part. But I'm just thinking and visualizing even like a third eye scenario where I'm looking at that sort of landing spot, trying to hit it, and then let the rest of the work do its job. we'll take that. Okay, here is a club selection tip the next time you are just off the green. I'm at zone 7 at the Somabay scoring arena. I'm only 3 paces off the green, and the grass between me and the green is absolutely fine. It looks like it's going to roll quite nicely. There is no need, just because you're off the green, to always have to chip it. Percentage play tells me that I should be using a putter. It may not look like the prettiest of shots, but if I could just roll this up, you know, within a sort of gimme range, I wouldn't do any better with a chip shot. So a putter is often a great option if the grass between you and the green is going to be nice and roll, nice and true. Oh! Sometimes you just got to take your medicine. This is going to be a tricky chip slash putt to zone 8 on the Somabay scoring arena. As you can see, I'm standing on quite a big ridge where I'm going to be starting over here just off the green, but putter is in hand because that is definitely going to be the best option. Really, I suppose the one tip that I can offer you is just make sure you get down the slope. Like, the worst thing you could do is leave it at the top. Yes, we want to be cute and clever and get it just to the edge, but if it rolls 15 feet past the flag but on the down slope, at least I'm not then got this horrible second putt stuck on the slope. So the tip is just make sure you get to the slope. Here's one tip to help you with the next time you've got a chip and run shot. I'm at zone 9 at the Somabay scoring arena. It's a chip and run, and really my one tip is not about technique, it's about the preparation. Make sure if you are rolling the ball towards that flag on the green, that you read the green to start with. Just because you're not putting doesn't mean you can't take into the contours and work out from a slope perspective. So if I was having this shot, I'm going to look to see what the green is doing, so therefore I can aim accordingly. Now I can see if I go to the second flag, it's sort of rolling left to right, meaning that I definitely need to take this chip shot to the left of the first flag and let it filter down. Definitely is a bit of a downhill slope as well, so just need to be a bit careful on the distance or how hard I hit this. But reading the green is so crucial, not just aiming straight at the flag. So left of that first flag, roll down to the second. Let me give you one tip to make this chip shot a little bit easier. I'm at zone 10 now at the scoring arena here at Somabay in Egypt. It is a chip and run up a slope. Now, if the grass between me and the green was quite smooth and true, I would definitely be grabbing a putter because it is easier and there's more room for error by keeping the ball rolling along the ground. Because there's definitely a few divots in front of me, my one tip is to not grab your putter, not grab your wedge, but grab a mid-iron. Just play a little chip and run. You can play it like a putt, but it's just going to lift over the sort of imperfections of the ground and then hopefully roll up the slope and then go quite close to the green. If you are chipping the wedge where it's going high and you misjudge it and catch the upslope, it's just going to roll back to you. This sort of running shot just gives you a little bit more room for error in the hope that we can just roll up the slope and get it quite near the flag. Let me give you one tip to make this shot a little bit easier. I'm at zone 11 on the scoring arena at the Somabay scoring arena in Egypt. Now, this shot is quite a long distance of fairway grass, which is quite thick grass. I can't really run the ball up to an elevated green. I need as much loft as possible to help the ball stop near the hole. The best tip I can give you, use as much loft as possible, even opening up your lob wedge for extra height, and think about trying to slam dunk it straight into the hole to give yourself enough distance on the shot to not get caught on this slope. 20 feet past the flag is an okay shot. Here's one tip for those short-sided chips with a bit of a grass bunker in front of you. I'm at zone 12 on the Somabay scoring arena. Not a great spot to be on a golf course. So we need to make sure that we've got loft because we want the ball to hopefully stop quite quickly. Again, past the flag is going to be better than short. So we just want to make sure that we're getting good contact to get the distance. So the one key for me on this particular shot is making sure that you are finishing tall during the shot. As Joe Mayo would say, you need to get away from the earth. So feeling that you are extending up through the strike will keep the arc under the golf ball, but not into the ground, because what's the worst thing we could do on this particular shot is catch the ground a bit early, hit it fat, and it lands up in this grass bunker. So just feel that you get taller through the shot. Here's a simple tip to help you with the trajectory of the chip that you're about to play. I'm at zone 13 at the scoring arena at Somabay. Very simply, if I want to hit a low shot, I just need to make sure that I have a nice low finish. That's going to keep that sort of trajectory down, the launch angle down. I'm going to hit a lower shot. If I need to go a little bit higher than that, I then might need to have a medium finish, which may be getting level with the chest, and I just smack the flag. And then if I want to hit a high shot, then you can guess it. I just need to have a high finish to the shot. Low shot, low finish, medium shot, medium finish, high shot, high finish. Keep it simple. Here's a tip to help your practice next time you are practicing your chipping. Don't always go for the same target. If you are standing here with the balls you're using and just going chip, 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 of course you're going to get pretty good by the end of it, but that's not realistic to a round of golf. So with the 3 shots that I have, we should always try to randomize your practice so it becomes more golf course related. So then you can work out as you're chipping whether or not you got the right landing area, whether you're using the right club to start with, and just varying up will definitely help you to become a better chipper in the long run. Just don't do the same shot twice. Hey, I really hope that got on camera. Here's one tip when you've got options when you're chipping. I'm at zone 15 at the scoring arena in Somabay in Egypt. I've got a fairly standard chip. I could probably do a number of different things, which has given me the opportunity to talk to you about ball position. If I wanted to just hit a normal trajectory shot with the club that I've chosen, I can just have the ball comfortably in the middle of my stance. If I wanted to hit it slightly lower than the normal trajectory, all you've got to do is just move that ball, sort of a ball back in your stance. And if I wanted to hit it higher than normal trajectory, just feel that you move that ball a little bit further forward. Try not to overcomplicate it when you talk about opening up the club face, releasing angles, etc. If you've just got a fairly basic chip and you just want to hit it a bit higher, move the ball a little bit further forward. If you want to hit it a bit lower, move the ball a touch back. Keep the technique the same, and I can guarantee that your percentages will be a lot higher when you're hitting a reasonable shot. Right, here's one tip for pitching. I'm at zone 16 at the Somabay scoring arena. It's quite a long shot going all the way up top to sort of a top tier. Really, my one tip just to make sure is as you're going through the pitch shot, that you're turning your chest through the shot. See so many times where people get a little bit scared, don't move the body, just use arms, and then we really get poor contact. Turning the body towards the target definitely helps to control the wrist hinge and break through the shot, and just feel that everything just turns to a good finish. Right, let's give you one tip on this sort of basic chip shot. I'm on zone 17 at the Somabay scoring arena. It's just a pretty standard chip. Nothing overly fancy. To be honest, I probably would putt it from here, but I just want you to make sure that you understood that if you are chipping, and I've got a mid-iron in my hand, the setup is more putting style than full swing. So when you are addressing to reduce the power of the shot, we can grip down the shaft, we can stand nice and close to it, and then just feel for a sort of a basic chip shot that the weight doesn't really move, favors the lead side slightly, and then we don't use too much wrist action. So even though it's a 7-iron, it's not a 7-iron swing, it's more like a putting swing. Here's one tip when your ball is not lying quite as you would like. I'm at zone 18 at the Somabay scoring arena. I've purposely put myself in a bit of a sandy divot, so to speak, just to really show that you don't always need to use an iron when you are doing a chip shot. a hybrid, a fairway wood, is not going to be the prettiest of shots, but it really guarantees that I can make good contact. If I'm using an iron and maybe getting the leading edge with a wedge, I may hit the sand first and then it's going to go 3 foot in front of my face. Now, this is definitely a shot that needs practice. Don't rock up to next week's monthly medal and feel you're going to chip with a hybrid all the way, but it's definitely something that can help you to high those percentages when you are struggling to have a good sort of lie on the golf ball. That'll do. Right, one tip for this downhill pitch shot. I'm at zone 19 at the Somabay scoring arena. Fairly standard pitch shot. Now, all I want to make sure is that I'm trying to use the bounce of the club. So I need to feel that my address position and my impact position are definitely similar. I don't want to feel that I'm dragging the grip through the shot and getting the leading edge down to the ground. Yes, you can hit nice shots with the leading edge down, but it doesn't give you the forgiveness that you would like when maybe you could use the bounce, and therefore you can be a little bit off with your contact and still hit a reasonable shot. So just be aware that you want to feel that you are unloading the wrists, still making sure you turn the chest. But if you unload the wrists, you'll use the bounce and your percentages of a decent shot will definitely increase. Right, one tip for these long chips that we sometimes get. I'm at zone 20 at the scoring arena at Somabay. I've got quite a long way to go, so I don't have anything to go over. Everything's pretty fine. When you are using a club with loft, you need more of a swing. When you are swinging faster and don't quite get the good contact, lots of bad things can happen. If you do a more of a chip and run with a 7-iron, it's going to be a smaller swing. You could top this golf ball and it's going to end up okay. So let's see if I can purposely top this golf shot, just to show you that even though it wasn't a good shot or a good strike, it might not end up too bad. So this is going to be a top. But because I topped it, it's still rolling towards the hole. If that was a sand wedge and I had to do a longer swing and topped that, that's going to go a long, long way. If your striker's gone when you're chipping, this is going to be the perfect drill for you. This is zone 21 of the scoring arena at Somabay. This place is incredible. If you are struggling with strike, do this one practice to really help you get back on track. Now, quite often when we lose strike, it's because we are leaning back onto our trail side and therefore we get the fats and thins because the bottom of the arc becomes before the golf ball. If you do the Flamingo drill, which is basically standing on one leg, you can't then rock back onto your trail side. So just take your normal position and then just drop your trail foot back. Now you might end up with the ball a bit more in line with your lead foot, but because my trail foot is now on my toes, if I do want to lean back, there's no support, I'm going to lose my balance. This is going to keep me very centered during the swing to make sure that I can stay and get my contact and get that nice crisp strike. Here's a mental tip the next time you're pitching over a bunker. This is zone 22 at the scoring arena at Somabay. As you can see, I'm going over a palm tree, going over a bunker to the yellow flag in the distance. The one mental tip, which I know is easier said than done, don't think about where you don't want it to go, think about what you're trying to achieve. If you start to get your thoughts on the palm tree and the bunker, I can nearly guarantee that your brain will respond and you will hit it into the palm tree or the bunker. Really stay focused on a good pre-shot routine, which is thinking about your landing spot, which is for me going to be maybe 10 yards short of that yellow flag, and really try to not even take into consideration the hazards that potentially are around you. Having positive thoughts will lead to a positive swing. Negative thoughts are nearly guaranteed to be a negative shot. Think positive, stay positive. Here's one tip when you're pretty much dead. I'm at zone 23 at the scoring arena at Somabay. I'm going to go to that near flag. I've got no green to work with and I've got rocks in front of my face. I need it up, I need it to stop quickly. This is going to be a bunker setup, but ball position more towards the center. So it's face open with a very lofted club. It's low hands a little bit further away, and it's feeling that I am playing like a bunker shot where I'm trying to keep that face pointing towards me the way through. Just going to make sure that I hit ball first and not the ground first. Right, here's one way to play this type of shot. I've obviously got the green well above me at the moment. One style you can do is sort of hit a mid-iron into the bank and hopefully it bops up. You see it quite a lot on link style golf. The only other option is to then maybe take the medicine, hit a nice high shot, go past the flag. This is zone 24 at the scoring arena at Somabay. So we're going to try the hit into the bank and hopefully pop it up. So mid-iron in hand, ball back, hands forward. I'm gonna have to be quite aggressive with this because I needed to sort of kill it into the slope. So it's a bit of a hit and hope, but hopefully an educated calculation. Okay, here's one tip when your ball is sat up in the rough, which may appear to be a good positive, but it actually makes the shot very tricky. I'm at zone 25 at the scoring arena in Somabay. I'm going to do this pitch shot to that flag over this bunker. Now, when it's sat up, you have to be very careful about the depth of your bottom of your arc. If you chip and go down to the roots, you are really going to catch the ball very high on the grooves. It's not going to have the same energy and therefore is very likely to go into the bunker. Try to feel that you stay very tall and then you are nearly skimming the top of the grass. Don't feel that just because it's nearly sat up on a bit of a grass tee that you get down into the bottom of the grass. So feel that you stay tall during the shot and just feel that you're just trying to clip it off the top of the grass. Okay, we all know that bunker shots are pretty scary for amateurs, so here is a really easy tip. We know we need to commit to the shot. We know we need speed because we lose that speed as we hit the sand. All I want you to think about is finishing your club head above your head in any particular bunker shot. I'm at zone 26 at the scoring arena at Somabay. I'm short-sided, don't have much green to work with. If I just feel that I need to finish with my club head above my actual head, hopefully that's going to encourage me to have more speed through the shot and get it out of the bunker first time. Okay, let's not make what is already a difficult shot any more difficult. I'm in the Wasteland, at zone 27 at the scoring arena at Somabay. I'm going to go to that white flag here. Now, it's a bit like a bunker. Obviously, I can ground my club. I'm not in a bunker, but it's also quite compact. So trying to do a normal bunker shot is probably not going to work. Doing a normal chip shot is possible, but also very risky. You get a couple of grains of sand before your ball's going to go nowhere. Trusty 7 wood or a hybrid or a fairway wood is definitely the best option for me. It's not going to be pretty, but it just allows me just to glide over sort of the sand and then hopefully just bobble through and it rolls down. Now, looks like quite a tricky left to right downhill sort of chip. So we'll just bob it through and then let gravity do the work.